Stephen L. Gibbs, Hyperdimensional resonator, space-time portal, space-time modulator, the DeMott cannon, tetrahedral bioelectric resonator array, and the eighth key to the riddle of time. For entertainment purposes only, for educational purposes only. Potentially dangerous information for traveling through the time stream. Stephen L. Gibbs. Not so much can be said for the introduction except for the fact that this is probably one of the most dangerous reports ever written on the subject of time travel. I can't even begin to stress the possible dangers which are involved in constructing a time portal. All I can say is be careful. There are forces out there which may have the power to destroy us, especially if the information contained in this report is misused. There is also a danger of getting trapped in some other time dimension. Whether it is the past or the future, the danger still exists. Since the time portal shift from one time frame to the next, the only way that you can lower the danger factor is by hooking up a radionics machine to the portal. There are many ways which to do this will be discussed later in the report. I think you will find the information to be quite helpful if you are interested in the psychic phenomenon. Among other things, I will also show you how to construct an artificial grid point. This is the first time that information of this nature has been revealed to the public. I hope that people use this knowledge, do not misuse it, because in doing so, it could bring an end to life as we know it. For informational, entertainment purposes only. As I have mentioned earlier, there are many ways to construct a time portal. These portals can vary in height, width, or by materials which they are constructed with. They can be made into an orgone accumulator, to a large electromagnet, which is built into the form of a Mobius coil. Whatever way you decide to do it, which will depend largely on how much time and effort you are willing to spend in making your dream a reality. One of the ways in which to construct a time portal is to find a grid point. To find a grid point, you will probably have to dowse for one. If you're like me, you will probably want to use an aura meter, which is a highly effective instrument for locating vortexes. If you can't obtain one of these aura meters, use the next best thing is a pendulum. When using a pendulum, ask it, in what direction should I go in order to find a grid point? As soon as the pendulum starts to swing, follow the direction in which it's moving. As soon as you hit the grid point, the pendulum will begin to gyrate in a clockwise or counterclockwise rotation. Once you found the grid point, you can begin with the construction of the time portal. If for some reason you have difficulty in trying to find a grid point, you may want to construct an artificial grid point yourself. To do this, all you do is overlap two pieces of copper tubing in an X-type fashion underneath the time portal. This is done in such a way so that each piece of copper tubing is pointing towards the north and south, east and west. When positioning the copper tubes underneath the time portal, they should be buried at least 7 to 12 inches underneath the ground. The reason for this lies in the fact that the earth itself contains a tremendous amount of electricity. And when the copper tubes have been buried underneath the ground, the copper itself conducts the electricity, which sets up the electromagnetic Mobius coil. In other words, the copper tubes create the first and second field, the time portal produces the third field, and the fourth field is set into motion when the time portal is facing east and west. Another thing that you can do, which can amplify the four-dimensional energies, is to insert a copper end cap over the end of the copper tubes. Each of these tubes will then form an air capacitor, which will act as an orgone accumulator. Not only that, but the pressure which builds up inside each of the tubes will amplify the gravitational fields which surround the time portal. And getting back to the time portal, you may want to use the radionics machine. We will find that the crosspiece, and it goes into more explanation. We're going to go take a deep dive. The hyperdimensional resonator. Stephen Gibbs added a well witness to his invention to help people use the HDR from afar, using a double terminated quartz in the wellness well. Before you can operate the hyperdimensional resonator, you must first learn how to operate the controls, the amplifier, the multidimensional stabilizer, to activate the energizer. The hyperdimensional resonator is connected to a 110 volt outlet. The dials are turned to a specific day, month, and year. This is done with the time coils are placed around the head. The resonator is activated and the electromagnetic is placed over the solar plexus for 3 minutes. The unit is deactivated, coils are removed, and subject should find himself projected into the future. For entertainment purposes only. Let's get into it. The tetrahedral bioelectric resonator array. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. Everything is energy. Your curiosity has brought you this far. Welcome to building the tetrahedral bioelectric resonator array. It's open source and free to distribute. I freely pollinate this technology and empower everyone for healing, knowledge, and light. Resonance and entrainment. To start with resonance, we would share some physics. One type of electricity we know is AC, also known as alternating current. As far as we know, it exists as a wave traveling down a wire. This wave is ultimately run down the length of a wire, run across the skin of a pyramid-shaped conductor. With no return wire, it will build up the surface of the pyramid, change forms, creating a standing wave that affects living organisms, including humans, and how they feel. This type of field may be studied to test different types of responses in water memory. Amplitude is how powerful the wave is. Frequency and amplitude. The shape of the wave is called the sine wave. Other waves include square, triangle, and sawtooth. At the moment, the resonance, another aspect of the electric wave. To understand the human bioelectric field, the resonant frequencies that can be tapped in essentially resonant field setup, you have to feel the joy, which is amplitude. And within the resonant field of joy, 528 hertz, you feel a lot of joy. Amplitude spike. The blue field represent the bioelectric field of the human body. The cyan waves represent the standing wave produced by the tetrahedron. Another effect observed by the tetrahedral bioelectric resonator array is entrainment. Brainwave entrainment and brainwave synchronization is the practice that aims to cause brainwaves, cell waves, frequencies to step into periodic stimulus, having a frequency corresponding to the intended brain state. Frequency following, outside the rhythm instructor to synchronize and lock your frequencies to the universe. Informational purposes only. The mono sine wave signal arrives at the tetrahedral conductor and spreads along the skin of the surface of the pyramid. Surface area is key. The larger the pyramid is one factor that straightens the standing wave. The other key is how much you can amplify the signal. Wow. All the faces are facing the person. This creates a parabolic effect. The configurations can be changed to create a 3D array. Stephen Gibbs. Serious information. The demonic canon. The experiences that he had. The most dynamic experiences, he had the flux capacitor, pulse generator. It's intense. Check out Steve L. Gibbs for entertainment purposes only. Time travel devices, time travel technology. Quantum Soul Food. Thanks for watching.